Welcome back to Vision on TV. Today we're at the .activist conference, and you're probably watching this on the Plug and Play channel. So today we're going to talk about soap, and I've no idea what it is. Can you tell us who you are and why this is important?
I'm Paula Graham, and I run an organisation called FOSS, which is a non-profit that does digital inclusion and sustainable IT, and we work with free software, mostly with voluntary sector organisations. I'm not talking about SOAP, I'm talking about SAAS, which is software as a service, and most people will be familiar with this in the form of things like Google Docs and webmail, this kind of thing.
So this is what people call cloud computing?
Yes, people do call it cloud computing, largely erroneously, but I think we probably shouldn't get into that. But yes, it is what people generally think of as cloud computing, without getting technical. So,
as an activist, this works really well. Everyone uses Gmail, everyone uses Google Docs. It's a great tool. Is there a problem?
There are a number of problems. One is of interest largely to techies, which is that the open source philosophy is kind of evacuated, because if you're using software on a remote server, you're no longer able to modify, and the community no longer owns the software that it's using. For people who use software as a service as users, the issues are more around, again, control of your own data. There have been, I kind of gave a number of different anecdotes to illustrate the problems that people can have.
Can you give us a couple again?
Yes, so for example, Google Docs. I picked up a story about an Italian lecturer, university lecturer, who had organised all of his course materials in Google Docs, and his account was turned off for reasons which he didn't understand, and he wasn't actually able to raise anyone at Google to query it with them. There was a form to fill in, but there was no response from it, and his blog was still up without him being able to modify it in any way, and he couldn't get access to his data.
Actually, I'm in exactly the same situation. I've got a blog, and I accidentally I had to sort out. So I had problems with too many accounts. So I deleted an account, and it turns out that was the master account of the Google blog. So now I can post to it, but I can't change anything.
Oops, a daisy. Yeah.
So and I contacted them. They're impossible to contact, and I've not got anything back, and I'm stuck.
Okay, there is something called the OSSD, which is the Open Source Service Definition, which was put together by some people connected with the Free Software Foundation, and it's trying to deal with those problems. So it's addressing the difficulty of technically producing something that will work seamlessly for the end user, like Facebook or whatever, but will actually give you complete control, and also will work interoperatively with everything else, basically, because the problem that you have now, you've got all your mates in Facebook. You want to move, you actually want to use something else, but the idea of moving all your mates and having them, they have to click the accept thing and it will solve all of those problems, so that you will actually portably have all of your data as far as possible on your own desktop, so you'll network in the kind of peer-to-peer spirit of the internet. So you'll network data on individual servers and federate, so that you're working with a much more community-oriented model, so that people actually be able to download just all of their data and take it away if they want to.
So this means people will be running their apps on their local machine, but they can access data in the cloud, but it's not the cloud, it's actually a peer-to-peer network.
Yeah, essentially, yes. It's a sort of federation, more likely a federation of servers, in the same sort of, if anyone uses IRC, that sort of idea, much more. That you're able to use different techniques, friend of a friend, so all your friends will be in a single sort of component, as it were, that you can just plug into different services, and different people will be running servers with that software on it, and you can just, in the way that you can with Drupal, say, on a grid.
Right, Facebook does something called Facebook Connect, which is kind of similar to that in a corporate sort of horrible way?
Yes, I have actually tried connecting Facebook to various third-party open source applications that are supposed to, but I don't know if you remember the kind of race that Yahoo used to have with Trillian on Windows. As soon as Trillian worked out so that you could connect to your Yahoo IM, Yahoo would move the goalposts, and then it wouldn't work for a week or two until they patched that, and Facebook is such a walled garden, it's just not credible that they are going to provide the kind of open interoperability. For example, I can't connect Gwibber to them even.
So just about, every activist now is organising on Facebook. The large climate camps largely moving across to Facebook. Facebook is really good for organising. Can you just highlight again the problems of this?
Well, there's something called Diaspora coming up, which will be based on the OSSD. It's probably going to materialise. There's an excellent chance of it. It seems to be quite well funded, and it will provide the kind of organisational, the kind of facilities that you can get from Facebook, but allowing you to control your own data.
Okay.
To a much greater extent.
Okay. So, any other points you'd like to bring up?
Yes, use an Ubuntu or other kind of Linux desktop, because then you will be able to interoperate with all these new services. And the same idea of being able to...
Okay. If people want to find out more, what website would they come to?
If they want to find out more about OSSD, just put OSSD into Google.
And your own website?
That's fossbox.org.uk.
Thank you very much. Find out more things about open source on Vision on TV.